an 11th grader from New Jersey, reluctantly agreeing to have his hair cut.
His hair's always been like that, so for them to now bring it up is out of line.
The ref, Alan Maloney, gave the Buena High School wrestler an option: cut his locks on the spot or forfeit the match, saying the hair violated athletic regulations. The student athlete's mother writing on Facebook afterwards, "Hardest thing I've ever seen. He is good now, but that was brutal emotionally and physically." Marco, a student, was in the gym when it all went down. He says,
many people in the crowd were definitely angry.
This is the hairstyle that has Daryl George, a junior at Barbers Hill High School in Mont Belvieu, in trouble.
It is a part of who we are.
He's been in school suspension since August 31st. That's the same week Texas outlawed racial discrimination based on hairstyles.
I had a meeting with the principal and assistant principal, and they said that it's because the Crown Act doesn't cover the length of his hair.
According to the dress code posted to BHISD's website, the policies were established to teach grooming and hygiene, instill discipline, and ensure students are dressed in a manner that is clean and neat. For male students, that means their hair cannot extend below their eyebrows or earlobes, not even if the hair is gathered or pulled back.
I want them to change their policies. I want them to stop being discriminatory against black and brown kids. Not just mine, but any other black and brown kid.
Darisha George says her son has not worn his hair down since school started in mid-August.
Right, here we are, that less than 1 minute statement using those two words, bad hair, right after one another. Well, it opened a deep wound that is still evident in black culture. A conversation of over 400 plus years, black people being told their hair is subpar. One thing about me, I deeply despise giving someone publicity when their rhetoric was clearly harmful to others, whether they'll acknowledge it or not.
Touch that, man. Touch that. Really here.
What's a branch off like tree?
John, what's that? I mean, no. Trust me, Rasta, I never seen nothing like this. How long you grow that like Rasta? How long you grow this?
It take about 40 years.
Here, 40 years, what a lax this, you know?
Looking good. You can like do weights with it.
Yeah, man.
Get a workout.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Serious.
Yeah.
That shit is for real.
For real.
You tie it in a certain style?
Yeah, me always tight, man.
Like a certain stigma that goes around about getting a job with your freeform locks or just working any profession with your hair. I just want to share my experience as far as that goes. As explained in the last video, I've been growing my hair for about 5 years. I've never had a problem finding a place, you know.
And just like so many things that we do in our culture to prove that we're clean, a lot of it is willful ignorance, because if you want to watch somebody who has freeform locks wash their hair, there's so many videos. A lot of people can soak their hair. They do apple cider vinegar rinse. It's probably more of a carefulness when you have freeform locks about your hair because of the stereotypes and the stigma. Nobody who has freeform locks is unaware that a lot of people do not agree and think that you're literally dirty because of it.
What's up, guys? It makes me vibes here. I just want to say I hope that your day is filled with love. I hope your day is filled with positivity, and I hope it's been going your way. You see the title of the video. Why I am never cutting my fucking hair. And why you shouldn't too, honestly. Because your hair is you. Your hair is a part of you. And cutting your hair, or even the thought of cutting your hair, it's like, I think it's taking a part of you away. I know people look at it like, it's just hair. You know, you hear people say like, why won't he just cut it? Like the clips I showed earlier, I assume that at the schools or other parents or legislators who make the Crown Act or different people who didn't make it, who are opposed to it, it's just hair, right? Just chop it off. Your hair is your life force. Like, of course, in this case, your life force is your root chakra, but your crown chakra holds so much energy. And I think, you know, it's why you hear certain people say, man, I had to cut my dreads off. I had to cut my hair off. Like that was an old part of me. That was because everything that you do is like, I think spiritually it's shown in your hair, you know, and to cut it, to get rid of it is, I'm gonna be honest, I think it's kind of foolish. Even for me, you know, I had locks before. Those of you who saw my older videos, my friends, pictures, older pictures of me, I had brown. My dread started out black, of course, and I dyed it red, and then it started to fade into like a brown color, and then I had like the swoop, like the Killmonger, and I cut it. Why did I cut it? Honestly, it was because I had people in my ear telling me like I would go like a couple weeks without a retwist, and then you start to see my hair like get kind of natty, right? Natty, get kind of loose. Excuse me. And I had people in my ear, certain coworkers. Gosh, I had certain coworkers and certain people say like, "Oh, you need a retwist. You need to get it done. You like that looks nappy. That looks ugly." And I felt self-conscious about it. And ultimately, my subconscious, like, it was kind of planted in my subconscious that it was ugly. And like, just one day I was like, I'm just gonna cut it. Like, I'm tired of hearing comments. I'm tired of people talking about it. Like, right? I just cut it. And looking back, it is what it is. I did it. But looking back, I'm like, man, why did I do that? Because I had a great set of locks. Like they were a little thinning because I was under the impression that I had to keep it neat, and so I was getting it retwisted every 2 weeks. And my loctician was pulling very tightly, and I mean, just thinning and thinning and thinning. I had a couple fall out, so that was another reason deep down I got it cut. But it was more so because of the comments, the looks, the things like that, the judgments, the silent judgments. But now I don't give a fuck. Look, let me show you my hair right now. I'm freeforming, as you can tell. It is going great. I'm not sure how many months, maybe 6 months, 7 maybe. I started growing it around my birthday, so it was in April. So April to now, whatever. Yeah. So it's the front of it, side, back view. And it's going great, honestly. I can't complain. And this is like the easiest hairstyle, bro. This is the easiest hairstyle. You literally just get up, go about your day. Maybe if you want to spray some type of hydration on there. This is brand called Free the Roots, and they have this hydration mist. I haven't gotten any in a while, but I might order some soon. And they have a hydration mist of like aloe vera and lemon juice, rosemary, things like that. That'll help, keep it hydrated. But yeah, just wash it. Some people say once a week, some say once a month. It kind of just depends on your hair, how dry it is, how long you can go without it, getting extra dry and maybe brittle and stuff. But yeah, man, it's super easy. Like I know for like black men, we're kind of told that we kind of need to keep it neat and kind of keep it corporate like, right? You've heard that. Even Kevin Samuels. It was funny. I was showing my friend a couple months ago, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. He had this clip where he was telling this guy, like, this guy was freeforming, and he was like, man, I'm loving my hair. And I mean, it was looking great, natty. He told him, son, if you want to get a job, if you want to be in the corporate professional world, you need to look presentable. You need to cut that off. You need to look like an actual young, successful black man. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way at first, because I was like, how do you going to assume this man is not professional? Something that grows out of my own scalp. No manipulation, no twisting, no retwisting. People who get it twisted and stuff, that's cool. But for me, like, I don't care about the uniform look. I don't care about the being professional, being in the corporate world. Like, yeah, if you have a boss and stuff and your boss don't like it, you can either work on his clock or start your own clock and go that way. But for me, like, I kind of already told my boss, like, they already know, because I mean, I walked around like just like this before it got like this, just walking around like this, and just, they didn't really say much. I did have a couple coworkers saying like, oh, you need to cut that off. You need to cut that shit off. But now I'm so like mentally sound. Like I'm doing my own thing. I literally do not care, man. Funny story. I went back home for Thanksgiving. I wasn't going to tell this story, but I am. I went back home for Thanksgiving, right? Again, there's a misconception that when you have freeform hair, somehow it's dirty, somehow it's neglectful, right? I don't mean to rant, but before I tell this story, for those of you who are on Instagram or Twitter, this is one of the reasons I got off, but you see these videos of people saying, "Oh, lock transformation," and it's like, he went 5 years without a retwist. He went a year, and then it's like they cut him or they retwist him, and it's like, oh, that's nice and neat, right? And I have no problem with that. Again, if you like more uniform dreads, rock that shit, but don't insinuate that because somebody hasn't had a retwist that their hair is dirty or nasty or smelly. Like, yes, there are some people who do neglect theirs, and that's their choice. But majority of people, and even Bob Marley said this out of his own mouth. Like, they asked him, how do you get freeform? And he said, well, just wash it, and I just keep it clean, and I just don't touch it. I don't manipulate it, and that's what it is, right? And so I just feel like those videos really insinuate and keep that stereotype and that narrative alive that people who rock this type of hairstyle is somehow dirty or unclean, which is not true. And back to the story, I went home, and I cannot tell you how many times my family, and it's looking nice, how many times my family mentioned to other family members, like when I came around, almost like they had to justify my hair. Like, it was a topic of conversation. Like, this is what I heard. This is honest truth. Like, I heard that spider web's finna come out of it. That looks dirty, nasty. You need to wash it. You need to cut that shit off. You need to go back to being the grooming young man that I know. What else? I'm not making this up. I heard all of this. Like who's gonna want you looking like that? Like, I heard all of this stuff, and again, I'm mentally sound, so I was just like, okay, I'm rocking. I don't care, right? I even showed, like, maybe to justify myself, maybe I shouldn't have, but I showed a couple family members. I show a couple pictures of Bob Marley and other people I showed in the clips that I've been following for a long time and kind of inspired to. And they were kind of like, one person said, I'm not gonna say who exactly, but they were like, why would you want to wear that? Like what happened? Like, are you on drugs? Like, why would you want to represent yourself like that? And I was just like, why would I want to represent myself like that? What do you, like, what does that have to, what does my hair that grows out of my hair, out of my head, it grows out of my head naturally. I'm not doing anything, right? I have 4B, 4C hair. It's naturally coily, it's naturally coarse, it naturally mats up if you just leave it alone. Just wash it and just go about your day. And that's what I've been doing. And it looks like this. But how does this affect you? And how does it unprofessional? I guess I just want to know that. Like, maybe comment below, even if you're not growing any dreads, even if you're not a minority, like, comment below, like, if you understand what I'm saying, or if you agree or disagree. I would love to hear you guys' opinions about this, because this is something, like, when I cut it off the first time, again, my old set of locks, I said to myself, you know what, this set, I don't care what nobody says. I don't care if my job says something. Like, I'm going to stand on something. I'm going to grow my hair out. I'm going to be in tune with my higher self. And I'm going to let, like, I think it's a spiritual thing. Like, you ever notice how most people who freeform their dreads get, like, sunburned right at the end? Like, I love that look. But yes, I just want to know how it's unprofessional. And, like, I don't know, maybe it's not for me to understand, but I know I'm rambling. But yes, that's what I heard when I went back home. And I was a bit, like, taken aback by it, because it was like, you guys are my family members. I understand you want to keep it real. I understand you want to be there for me and let me know, like, what looks attractive. But it's like, I literally don't care, bro. Like, it's coming in super nice, and, like, I try to stay out of it. Sometimes I, like, twist it and stuff, but I've been trying to stay out of it. But no, man, I mean, it's a certain hairstyle. I mean, they used to rock it like this back in the day before locticians came about. They just wearing their hair natural. Like, there was no, oh, you needed to cut it every 2 weeks. Like, I've had an ex say, you need to, like, show me an old picture of myself and say, I liked you when you had this hairstyle. Like, seriously. Like, and at that point, I was like, excuse me. At that point, I was like, Nah, like no, like it was just not in my mind. It was like, okay, like if you don't want to accept, you don't have to accept me fully as I am, but like to show me a picture and say like that's the version that you wanted. Nah, it's not gonna work. If you are rocking Freeform Dreads, I would love to also hear from you as well, how your journey's going. Like I said, it's only been like 7 months, so of course I'll do another update probably like a year and then, different milestones. But yeah, I'm just loving this journey, man. Sometimes it does get a little dry, but I try to wash it once a week, and put cold water in it one day, wash it once a week. Maybe that's too much, but it works for me. It helps me stay hydrated and conditioned. So yeah, it's crazy to think that legislation has to sign something in effect for things like this not to happen, for people to get discriminated. It's like, it's 2023, man. Like, we're still getting discriminated because of our hair. Like, and what's crazy is like during slavery, they had this test. They would stick like something like this, maybe like a wooden stick in your hair, and like if they could stick it through and pull it up, like that's how they know that you could go in the house, because you didn't have like Negro hair. You didn't have I'm not gonna say the N word, but you didn't have that type of hair. If they could stick it through and pull it all the way up, right? But if they could stick it through and they couldn't, you'd be outside. Isn't that wild?